Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to episode 102 of The Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. She is Julie Dobbs. We are in Dallas, Texas, and It's cold as balls, and the roads are getting icy, but we're here.
We are here.
We're here.
We made the
trek.
trek.
I think even when this show airs, because we usually tape on Wednesdays, show airs on Thursdays, I think it's still going to be shitty outside, so.
Oh, yeah. I think we're
definitely
safe in saying that.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy how back and forth it is. It's driving me nuts.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Okay, so for example, I think it was Monday morning, I get up before the kids get up to go for my portion of my run. So I go and I'm wearing a tank top.
Yeah.
Tank top. And then run a couple miles, come home, get the kids ready for school. And in that time period, I had to put on a long sleeve shirt and a jacket and gloves and a beanie. Like the temperature dropped, I think,
yesterday.
30 degrees. Was it?
Well, Tuesday.
Oh, maybe it was yesterday.
So yesterday,
it was
Tuesday. I did the little mom minute about Alexa, and I rely on Alexa for a lot.
Yeah. And did you know that you can change Alexa's name?
No.
So Hattie has changed her Alexa's name to Iggy.
Okay.
And then it talks in like a weird voice. It's not a lady, it's a man. So now her Alexa's Iggy, and then I get confused because we have Alexas in a lot of rooms, and I can't remember who's who.
I want to change my Alexa's name.
Call Hattie.
She'll help me and then turn it into a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonder if it can like scare intruders.
Why not?
Alexa, yell at this robber.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so tell me about
man voice. So Ryder and I were asking Alexa about the weather as he was getting dressed for school yesterday, and it was like it's going to be 70, 60, low of 60, 1 or whatever. So I sent him to school in long sleeves and no jacket. And then it just turned frigid within like 2 hours. Neither of my kids had jackets. And so I felt bad.
Yeah, I actually took a jacket to school on Tuesday.
You did?
Because I did. Well, she rode her bike. So it wasn't like I was picking her up from school.
Right.
She's wearing like a short sleeve shirt and a skirt. And so I took her a jacket.
That was nice of you.
It wasn't it?
You know what I did?
So nice.
Yesterday, I couldn't go back and get a jacket because I had to stay because I was the mystery reader.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's fun.
Do y'all do that?
No, we did it in like kindergarten, I think maybe first.
Okay.
Maybe just kindergarten.
But you,
yeah.
The younger ones do it.
But was it a surprise to Ryder?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
It was
so I
a
guess
surprise.
ours isn't really a mystery. It was just like
Come
guest
read.
reader. Yeah.
It was fun. It was cute. All the kids are like waiting to see who it is. And I walked in and like Ryder's like, yay. And the other kids are like, like they don't care if it's me,
Yeah.
But he was real excited.
Yeah. I have a friend, my friend, Elizabeth Prawn O'Day, who's married to Darren O'Day, who played for us for a while, which we need to have her on, by the way. She's like a big wig at, I think she's on CNN now. I mean, like, she's
cool.
Super fancy news reporter. But she went I saw her on her Instagram stories. She went to Mystery Reader, like dressed up in one of those like inflatable T-Rex outfits.
Oh my gosh.
So she comes in and it's
That's
not
awesome.
just, her kid's mom. It's
Yes.
her kid's mom.
So
dressed
mystery,
up in an
like they still don't know who it is.
T-Rex. I think she revealed herself, but
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's got to be cool, mom, right? Like,
That's cool, Mom.
At that age.
I should have done something like that. I
You
think a
should've.
lot of them do. And I think some of them, I think they're trying to temper it a bit because some of the moms like go overboard bringing treats and like,
Shocking.
candy for everybody and everything else. And then
Mom's
it becomes a competition.
Mom's going overboard. Who
Mom's
would have
turning
thought?
everything into a competition.
So exhausting.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Okay, mystery reader.
By the way, I brought you a coffee. I forgot to tell you. And I
You
don't think it
did.
looks very good anymore.
What kind of coffee did you bring me?
I brought you a dark roast and I put a little bit of half and half in it.
Well, that is very thoughtful, Julie. I'm just
I forgot to tell you.
yeah, because we're definitely not drinking today. We've got to
We're
drive
not
on these
drinking
roads. There is
today.
no drinking.
And I've already had plenty of coffee, but I needed more.
I'm curious. That I will tell you, this is very thoughtful. This is very thoughtful.
In the
Unsolicited.
cold. Well, I knew you were driving really far in the cold. and
Yes. So I should.
I wanted to
taste it.
show my appreciation. Hope it's not bad.
Woo, that is strong.
Yeah, it is a little strong.
But it's good. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
good.
you.
You're
That
welcome.
is very, very
There's a
thoughtful.
little pick me up for your show.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've got lots to get to today. Always.
Always.
Where are we going to start?
Let's start.
We actually, hey guys, we have another rundown this week.
Look at
So
us.
fancy.
Should we say what we aren't doing, but we're gonna do and are gonna do soon, and maybe see what people? Never mind. Should we tell them about our third?
Oh, Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were supposed to have Adam Hernandez, who is the third member of the Mom Game crew. As you might be able to tell by his name, he is a man. He is our social media marketing guru guy, and he's also a part owner in our company. And we love having him as a part of our Mom Game family. And we felt like we needed to bring some testosterone into the mix.
Yep.
And so Adam is going to be mixed in hither and yon. Is that the right way to say it?
I don't know. I've never heard that.
Here and there. I feel like I heard that from Mike Reiner. Anyway, Adam's
like
going to be
a
mixed
Reiner thing
in
to
with he's going to do some mom minutes. I don't know if we need to come up with a new name for his dad talks, but we're going to have some fun with Adam. He's a super cool dude.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Went
And
to Texas Tech. We're fellow Red Raiders. And the cool thing about Adam is he's been with us since the very beginning. And he worked for free for a really long time. And so now he's a part of our little Mom Game business. And
Yes.
yeah. So we're going to work him in, but he has a newborn and how old is James? 4?
3.
Okay. Two little ones at home. And his wife was not prepared for him to venture out on the roads today and was
Right.
not thrilled about that decision. And so and I don't want him to join virtually because I want everyone to see him and meet him, all that kind
So
of
he'll
stuff.
be here soon. But I had some ideas for his little Adam's
what is it?
alcove, the dad cave, the dad's den, Adam's area, Adam's arena, the dad
area.
game.
That sounds, for some reason, it's a little, I don't know.
The dad game with Adam,
Okay.
or the man game, TMG, the man game.
Man game.
So anyway, we can just workshop
mull
those
over
things. If
those.
you guys hear this and you can think of something, I kind of like Adam's alcove. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
The dad den.
Dad's den.
Dad den.
Dad den. Well, my
Daddin?
son used to call my husband Daddins.
Oh,
Daddins.
so it kind of sounds like that.
Dad's den. The man
So
game.
anywho,
We'll figure it out.
We're workshopping that.
Workshop. Lots of workshopping.
A lot of
going on.
workshopping. Word of the day. Talk a little sportsies.
Yeah, let's talk some sports.
It's kind of a little bit of a dead time compared to how it just was, and then how it's going to be once baseball eventually starts up.
Wait, is this officially Sports Scores?
Yeah, this is officially Sports Scores, which is brought to you by our friends over at Bottle Rover. When this weather sucks, it's a good time to call Bottle Rover and make sure that you have what you need to survive it before you hunker down for a while. Bottle Rover, if you have not heard about them yet, this is what they are. They're an alcohol delivery platform. It's like your Uber Eats or your DoorDash or your grocery delivery, but it's for booze. So they can go to whichever store is near you, whichever store you prefer, and find what it is that you're looking for. Bring it to your front door. Free delivery. Free delivery. I feel like a lot of those apps don't offer that. This one does, as long as you purchase an order over $50. If you're supporting Bottle Rover, not only are you supporting us here on the Mom Game, but you're supporting locally, which is something that we are kind of all about here on the Mom Game. So you can search and browse your favorite beer, wine, or spirits from any mobile device, anywhere. It is super easy. Schedule your orders so you can do it like ASAP, or you can do it like, say, hey, tomorrow I need I know I'm going to need a bottle of wine to go wherever, and I'm not going to make it to the store. So you can schedule it out that way too if you're a planner like Emily is.
Planner.
So in order to use it, go to bottlerover.com, or you can just download the app. Search for your favorite beer, wine, or spirits from hundreds of local stores. Shop their live inventory and add your favorites to your cart. It is that easy. Schedule your order, and then you get to say cheers, thank you, Bottle Rover, and enjoy yourself. So Bottle Rover is bringing you sports squirts.
Love it. And you know what? I feel like, and maybe it's just me. Like when it's cold outside and like kind of you're like trapped, do you feel the desire to drink a little more?
Well, yeah, because you know you're not driving.
You know you're not going anywhere.
You don't like most of the stuff's going to be canceled.
Right.
If you have kids stuck inside with you, then you're like, I'm going to need a little something to survive all of this.
Yeah. I put in a pot roast today before
I was
came
proud
over.
of you.
And I whipped it up. And I really didn't have a recipe. Yeah.
Yeah?
You want to hear what my mix was?
Yeah.
Ketchup, barbecue sauce, chicken broth, a package of onion soup mix,
Okay.
Worcestershire sauce.
I was going to say, you got to have some Worcestershire in there.
And then I think that's it. Oh,
Yeah?
and minced garlic. And then I
Did you
mixed it
figure
all
out what
together.
the meat is?
So, fucking meat.
Whoa.
So this
Didn't know I was
I
going to
know.
set her off with that question.
This morning, Mike's like, God bless him. He just wishes I had this like innate desire and knowledge of cooking and desire to cook.
Yeah.
I don't. So of course he's anticipating the weather and he's like, should you, and he's saying this because he wants me to do it.
Yeah.
Should I go to the store and get a roast or something? Put a roast on. I'm like, I'll fucking go to the store. So I'm like, I'm going to go now. So I want to go now before it got crazy at the store. So it's like, I'm going now. So I go to the store and I'm like potatoes, carrots, onion soup mix. And then I go to the meat section and I don't know shit about meat. We've established this. So I'm looking and I'm ready to pull the trigger on this hunk of meat. It looks really good. And then I read and it's like brisket. And I'm like, oh, totally different, right?
Yeah, totally different. And it was probably like $100 or something.
It was $35.
Oh, that's pretty good
So
price on brisket.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, I can't get brisket. So then I look at this other piece of meat and it's smaller, but it says roast. So I think
Back to the roast thing.
Here we go, roast. So I get my groceries, go home, and Mike's still there when, it's before we taking the kids to school. He's still there and he's like, oh yeah, this is a chuck roast.
Oh no.
This isn't a pot roast.
Oh
and I'm
no.
like,
What the hell's a chuck roast?
I don't know, but apparently he's like, well, he like looks at the kids and is like, we just need to be ready. It's going to be tough.
Like he has to prepare them in the morning.
He wants everyone to know before anything has happened to this fucking piece of meat
We
that
just
it's
need
going
to
to
be
be
ready.
He's like, everybody just needs to go and knowing that this is going to be, it's not going to be like super tender. It's going to be rough or tough.
Like the kids needed to hear that.
I don't know, but I'm like, okay, first of all, there was like 5 pieces of meat, 2 briskets and 2 chuck roasts and some sirloins. Like there was nothing in the meat section, but I'm like, here I am. God, I can't, I mean, I don't understand meat. I don't understand cuts of meat. What does a roast come from? Is that a cow or is it a pig?
Okay. So a chuck roast. So it's different parts of the animal.
What animal?
Usually a cow, right?
Okay.
But it's different parts. And so this says a chuck roast, because I just Googled it because I don't know what a chuck roast is. I don't know what Chuck did to deserve a roast named after him.
But
is a heavily exercised muscle.
So it's strong. It's got big muscles.
Which gives the beef good flavor.
Okay.
You have that going for you. But
I've rubbed it up and everything.
There's a but.
Here it goes.
It also makes it tough.
Oh.
1 chuck is used for a pot roast or when cubed stew because this is the stuff that makes me like, I don't even want to know about some of this stuff.
Okay.
Because the connective tissue melts.
Okay.
As the chuck braises and self-baste the beef, making it very tender.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to hear about tissues
either.
or tendons or an exercised muscle.
That fucking chuck roast is in a pot right now, in a crock pot.
Now it's a pot roast.
A pot.
When you put it in a pot.
It makes it a pot roast.
It makes it a pot roast.
My family's going to have something warm to eat when they come home.
Well,
I don't know if it'll be any good.
You're doing a lot more than I did for my family in this warm weather because I haven't even thought about dinner.
Everybody
yet.
get ready for tough meat at the McCoy house. So anyway, okay.
I'm impressed. Anyways.
Back to sports scores.
Back to sports scores.
All right.
So yeah, it was like, it's an interesting time. I feel like, cause there's not like with the NBA All-Star break.
Yep.
Especially, we haven't even had Mavs on. So I'm like, what do I do? I like having something on at night. The Stars had a little,
college basketball. Check
break.
out the Red Raiders.
I know. Okay. So did they win yesterday? I'm trying. They did. They played Oklahoma.
Yes. They've won all their games at home. I think it's 19-0. 20-0 if you count that game at Texas when it was like a home game.
That's what your tweet was that you were so excited about.
So excited about it. I was really proud of that tweet.
It did well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did. But
it took me a few days to understand it. I was like, okay, cool. They've won another home game. And then I was like,
but it wasn't at home.
She's witty.
It was in Austin. Okay. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you.
That's okay. So let's see.
Mavs aren't playing.
The Mavs aren't playing. They had the All-Star break. Luka went to the All-Star game. He hugged Michael Jordan.
I think Michael hugged everyone.
I think so too.
Was having quite a great time.
He hugged everyone. I mean, that's his deal. It's like, come stand here and hug people and make everybody feel special.
Yeah.
But Luka was in the news a little bit. We're trying to get Mark Cuban on this show.
Yes.
Eventually.
Yeah.
And he will come on.
Sometime.
He told you.
I said, can I reach back out in the off season? And he said, sure thing.
Okay. Well,
no promises, but
he could have ghosted you like a lot of people.
He could have ghosted me. He's very good about responding, not just to me, to literally everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is insane.
Good for him. Well, he didn't say no to the ticket yesterday, and he went on the ticket, and had some comments about Luka that kind of like blew up, which I think blew up because there was nothing else for people to talk about.
Agreed.
And he's a smart guy. Like, he had to think about the timing of all of this, but basically said, like, I think Luka's finally realized, or he didn't like taking all the criticism that he took because of his weight and his training. And he didn't make wasn't a starter at the All-Star game. So like all of the criticism maybe has affected him to where now he's like, okay, I'm getting my shit in gear.
Fueling is fire.
I'm going to keep it tight. Yeah, all of that. But the fact that Mark Cuban said it made it blow up into this whole thing where people are talking about it a lot right now. I don't know. I've never been really super worried about Luka, but if he's going to get his ass in gear, then hey, more power to him. And that's hopefully good for us and the whole team.
Yeah.
He's playing well.
He's playing ridiculously.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch, and he's a fun player to watch. And, and I think it's part of the maturation process. I mean, and I think for some guys that the whole fitness, nutrition, body composition, the way you're built is like, it's way easier for some than it is for others. And I think it's a challenge for him that it's not something that comes easily for him.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that guys who are ripped and in shape, it comes easy for them. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying, I think this is just something where
it's more of a challenge.
He's going to have to be on top of it. Especially the older he gets. I mean, we can attest. I mean, we don't play in the NBA, but I mean, shit starts falling apart the older you get. I mean, and he's only 22, and he's still got a lot to figure out. And, I think that, you should be held to a high standard when you are, a franchise player like he is, but also too, you got to also keep in mind, I mean, it's like when I talk about baseball and, I can't making that error. I can't believe he's not focused. I'm like, they play 162 of these fucking games plus spring training. I mean, it's just, you can't,
I can't
as much as you want
dropped that ball.
Right. As much as you want to like expect these, perfection or whatever. And it's tied to a paycheck, how much you make, all that kind of stuff. You have to realize that it's
there are people.
Well, and there's going to be letdown. There's going to be times when you don't have the same intensity in certain moments as you do in others. So yeah, I think I don't think it's much ado about nothing. I mean, if he did in fact come in at 265 into camp and his playing weight is 230, like
is that what it was?
That's not, that's what I think Tim McMahon had that report, who covers the Mavericks. And I think that was the report 265 and his playing weight is like 230. So yeah, that's a little,
that's letting it go.
Yeah, that's a little much. That's a few too many. But anyway, so I'm happy to see him playing well, and whatever it is that and if you're going to play a long career in any professional sport, if you're going to have a long career in any industry business, you have to find things that motivate you, and you're not always going to be performing at peak level at all times. And so if this has motivated him, then kick ass.
Yeah. So the Mavericks will start up again in a couple of days. Currently 5th in the West, 35-24 on the season. So it could be fun down the stretch.
Yep.
And then did you have anything else on the All-Star game?
No.
Did you watch? Do you watch those?
No.
Yeah. I had it on, but
Yeah. Like
it's
background
hard.
noise.
Anytime that like players aren't getting into something, I can't get into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just there to like check a box.
Stars are where
They
we
had a bad loss at the tail end of their road trip. They won like 3 in a row on the road and were feeling good, and then went into Arizona and played the Coyotes, who aren't
terrible.
very good and like aren't even gonna have a home next year. They're kind of sad right now, and Arizona beat them. And it was one of those games where the Stars just don't. I don't know. I've talked about this with them. It's like it's the end of a road trip. I almost knew. I was like, they're going to come in. They're not going to have their legs, and they're going to think we've already won a few games in a row. So, and that's what happened. So I don't know what that, tracks to in the end. But it was one game, but they had to feel bad about it for a little bit. And they are back home playing tonight at the American Airlines Center. And
So
Wednesday.
We'll see.
Yes.
How many more games do we have left?
Like 2 full months. So
Really?
yes.
Okay.
A while. In March, they are on the road a ton.
Oh, which is great news for you and your
Like
family.
a ton. Like I think they have 3 home games and the rest are road games.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's gonna suck, but they're good on the road.
Yeah.
They're better on the road.
Yeah.
So March, I feel like will be able to tell a lot. So
Yeah,
we shall see.
Let's talk MLB lockout. Woo!
Yeah, what you got? What you got?
We're just rocking and rolling with those negotiations. It's so
Last time we talked about it, you were more optimistic. You thought-
and I don't. I mean, I was at the gym this morning and somebody asked me about it. I just can't. I can't see them going past the Sunday deadline.
Yeah.
Because Sunday hits or Monday hits and we're not going to start the season on time if they don't have an agreement in place by Monday, February 28th.
Wow.
Which is scary AF.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've talked about, you and I off air, I've been pretty chill about the whole thing. Pretty optimistic, pretty chill. Now I'm becoming very not chill. My anxiety is taking over. I yelled very loudly into this microphone before we started filming the show.
Because it's your life. Yeah.
Right. Which again, and I always say this and I quickly say, but I don't have to pack up and move to Arizona for a month when spring training starts. I go for a week, 10 days, whatever. So I cannot imagine these wives that are trying to organize children and if they're going and when they're going and where they're living, all that kind of stuff. It's got to be a nightmare for them.
Is spring break already out, or would they do an abbreviated
spring what? Spring training.
Sorry, spring training.
Okay. Yeah, no, spring training is definitely not out.
Okay.
And you have to have a spring training. The way those guys are.
Could they do it at home? Like if they have
no,
to? Okay.
You don't have the facilities that you can't rely. You can't. You trust guys to stay in shape.
Yeah.
But now that the lockout has been in place since December, they don't have access to players do not have access to team facilities. So they have to find the facilities on their own. Not that that's terribly difficult. Right. You have to imagine that hopefully they won't come in at 265, but it's on them to go find their own training facilities. Yeah. Whereas, in previous off seasons, they would have an off season program. All of our guys would have access to the Rangers Youth Academy in South Dallas. They would have access, obviously, to Globe Life Field. They would have all of those things and constant communication with the team and how they're doing, how they're feeling, all that kind of stuff. And that just hasn't happened. So you have to have something organized roughly for a month. Mm-hmm. And so once we get to March 1st, then you're looking at a month and backtracking things. Then you're starting to talk about the regular season getting pushed back and all that kind of stuff. And so it does become, it's becoming very, very real.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Is it mostly focused on minor league stuff at this point?
No. I mean,
I've seen a lot about that.
It is some. I mean, a lot of it's luxury tax. I mean, it gives me tired head to think about it. And to be honest, I don't grasp a ton of it, or I won't attempt to grasp a ton of it until it's final, and then I'll figure it out.
What it was. Yeah.
It's like in minor leaguers. Like it's like I don't really get invested in minor leaguers very early on until I figure out if they're going to be a
someone
player.
you need to keep
and
an
it's
eye
not
on
because
or
I'm
not.
being, that sounds snooty and bitchy, but it's just because my brain's too small
Yeah.
to like, to figure out things, or to, you know, I just only have so much room in my head for information.
I hear
and
you.
all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
anyway,
when I'm not at the ticket for a while, I like check out of things.
yeah.
It's like,
So
I'll
anyway,
get it
it's
figured out
it's a
when I
mess,
need
and
to.
I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared, but
Well.
I'm hopeful that by the time we come back and shoot next week's show, that a deal will be in place, and I'll
Yeah.
have my schedule, and we'll be good. Because I
We can
have
all
my
move on.
schedule right now for the season. I know which trips I'm going on. I know which days I have off at home. I know all those things.
Okay.
I know, but then that starts to get messed up if the season gets pushed back.
Right.
So it's all a domino effect.
Yeah,
So anyway,
well,
there's my poor
Godspeed.
me and the lockout.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully we do have that figured out soon.
okay. I
I
wanted
want
to
to watch baseball too.
Yeah,
there's that too. It's like,
isn't
geez.
it? It is nice to have something to watch every night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, and baseball needs it.
Yes.
They need to be on people's TVs.
Yeah, we need to be able to find it on our TVs.
Yes.
which
that too.
that's mess. But anyway, okay.
too.
You did something cool this week.
Yeah.
Are you going to show everyone the picture?
Um,
I mean, not now, but like
yeah.
send it to Ted.
I can.
Ted, our fearless producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to send it to him because they need to be able to. We need visual evidence to support this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's from afar.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just give you a refresher.
You look. You're
You
cute.
think I'm hot as a man?
You're a hot dude
Um,
with makeup on.
yeah, well, and then I turned into, so I was Gilbert and then I was John. That's John.
Okay.
So here's the story. So, and I love this. I love how this all kind of came to be. So when I was filling in at the ticket on Dry Dock,
What is dry dock, by the way? I've never understood that.
Dry Dock when the main hosts are all gone.
Why do they call it that?
Because I don't really know.
Okay.
Because
I've always wondered that because
The
I've always
dock-
heard people say, "Oh, it's dry dock," and I'm like,
well,
"What does
it's
that even
something
mean?"
about like the boats all go somewhere and then the dock's dry and the main hosts are the boats and they're gone. And then you've got this dock and you got to fill it in. Something like that.
It's the greatest explanation of dry dock ever.
Anyway, so let's see. It's a narrow basin or vessel that can be flooded to allow a load to be
Okay,
floated in.
Stop
drained.
googling things. Stop googling.
Chuck roast and dry dock.
Put the Google machine away. Tell me about your commercial.
I like when I can learn.
Yes.
Anyway, I was on with Mike and Soroy and Sean Bass, and somehow they got word that like I was like a kid actor, which I tried to be.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I was in some commercials when I was younger, and I've had an agent here in Dallas. I don't think technically I do. You know how like you just kind of go dry with them after a while. Like
Yeah.
you're not getting work. Like both sides are kind of like meh. But I had an agent, and I know you do too. So I thought this would be interesting to talk about with you. But I haven't done anything for a while, so we laughed about it on the ticket, and I kind of made fun of myself because like all the things that I were in were like pretty spare. But I did a few things. And one of the people listening was a business owner for a sign company called Accurate Signs, and he reached out like right after that and was like, "Hey, I think it'd be really fun to have you in one of our commercials. I just heard what you said that you used to be in commercials." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, sure, I can still do it, like whatever." And then I didn't hear anything for like a month, and then he reached back out and he's like, "Okay, February 22nd, are you available for this shoot?" And I said, "Sure." So then I had a few calls with them, and we kind of like workshopped what it was going to be about. So basically what they wanted me to do was play the role of 3 different people that are all interested in using this company for their signage and car wraps. They wrap cars.
Okay.
And the 3 people, the last one was actually me, and the other, actually, I think it was 3. Yeah. So 4 people, including myself, 3 other men. And so it was like all these men going to these small businesses, like saying, "I use this company because blah, blah, blah." And then, "Well, I use this company because blah, blah, blah. And I use this company because blah, blah, blah," like in front of the trucks for their companies. Right. And then at the end, it's like me coming out and I'm like, "And they can help you no matter what your needs are, blah, blah, blah. And I'm Julie Dobbs." And there was a wrapped car with my picture on it.
Stop it.
And my name on it.
Where is the car?
It's going to be hilarious. I don't know. The car's gone.
You should be able to drive
Wouldn't that be funny
around.
if I drove it all around? I know.
my
I was
gosh,
like,
that's
I
amazing.
need to get a mom game car wrap. We could put on our cars in.
Totally.
Because we don't have enough logo everywhere right now. So anyway, so I get there. So I kind of knew what to expect, but like there was a makeup person that had a mustache and like wigs and the whole deal to transform me into a man. And they had construction, type shirts that had little names on them. So I was Gilbert and then I was John. And it was like full on like sketch acting, like I was doing comedy stuff. I was like, all right, let's just go for it. I was just, I've never done anything like this, but I don't really care. So here I am over here like, if you need your business, and I did it man voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they wanted you to talk in man voice.
Yeah, they wanted me to talk in man voice. I tried hard to do a New Yorker voice on one of them. I was like, you guys need a place to
Oh, dear.
Oh my God, it was really bad.
Oh, dear.
So anyway, we'll see what this commercial looks like, but it was actually really fun, and it was like a new fun challenge for me. So anyway, the commercial will be out, I don't know, pretty soon, I think, and they're going to send it to me. So I'll share it with our mom gang people, and we can break it down. But it was fun, and it was a paid gig, so that was nice too. But yeah, and the guy was like, wouldn't it be funny if like people with these small companies just started like putting you in all their commercials as like a bit? I was like, yeah, I could be.
You're like, sign me up.
Sign me
for
up.
all the bits.
Yeah, exactly. So it was fun, but we'll see where it goes. I like doing whatever comes my way these days.
Yeah.
And I know that you've done commercials and we were in shows and everything else. Do you still do it besides Gateway?
So I do Gateway. I haven't done anything outside of Gateway in a while. I did Friday Night Lights, which was super, super fun.
Yes.
That's obviously not a commercial, but a television show. And I will tell you, I have more people that this was years ago.
Yeah.
Will reach out and be like, "Oh, I'm binge watching Friday Night Lights and just saw you." Like, I cannot believe,
because you had a speaking role. You were like a reporter.
I played a reporter, and like I think I was in 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah,
over 2 seasons, and that show has more like, because it was popular when it was on the air, when it was on NBC. But I think since it's been off the air, it has like a cultish following.
Oh,
like
it's come back around.
It definitely has come back around, and I still get my residual checks.
Oh,
which
nice.
It's like $4.03. Sometimes they get up to like $24.
Nice.
But it's fun. I did 1 episode of Dallas. Remember when Dallas rebooted? That was years ago.
Yes.
So they had like a reboot of Dallas, and I played a news reporter that was covering like a body found in a wooded area.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it was very serious.
Isn't it fun?
It's fun, but I don't know how this commercial went for you. When I shot Friday Night Lights, you want to talk about literally an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
That I was being used and on 10 seconds or something. But even when because you wouldn't go, they were shooting so many scenes or whatever, you wouldn't even leave your trailer and go to the shooting site until, whenever they were ready for you. And then when they said they were ready for you, really it was you standing around for like an hour before you actually started like take 1, take 2. And they would do like, you'd knock out 10 takes and then you're done and you go back. And anyway, it's live television and like, recorded television are so
totally different.
Much different.
And Friday Night Lights is a much like larger scale production.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, which is why it's a lot of sit around and wait.
Yep.
But it's fun. I like that whole thing.
Yeah,
so
it was cool. I'd love to do more.
Be on your commercials. Emily and I can do them together.
Yeah, we're all about commercials.
For sure. Other thing for what's on your feed that I wanted to talk about a little bit because it made me laugh. I felt bad that I laughed. So the whole like Matt Stafford after winning the Super Bowl and his wife Kelly Stafford, who are a little unhinged, I think, if you've heard any of their podcasts or Kelly. So Kelly does a podcast.
Yeah.
And I guess the whole podcast is called The Morning After, and she talks about like the morning after each game, I think.
Yeah.
So it's all about like being Matt Stafford's wife, right?
Right.
A lot of people are interested in that.
Sure.
And they did one right after the Super Bowl, the morning after the Super Bowl. We reviewed some of the audio on the ticket when I was on last week where she was still drunk and he I mean, I think they were both still drunk.
Yeah.
And they were like bitching about having to take their kids to Disney World.
Yeah. Which, for the record, I would be too if I had just won the Super Bowl or if I was
Me
married to
too.
someone who just
Me
won the
too.
Super Bowl.
She was
So-
like, we need to get more vodka in our water bottles
Yeah.
and bring it. I was like, that's a little aggressive. Like,
Yeah.
and 4 kids, holy shit.
yeah. But surely they've got people helping them at Disney.
I think they were saying they couldn't bring anybody. Like there were only so many passes.
Oh, dear.
I know.
That's a game changer.
I know. But the video that then surfaced of them at the celebration parade, at the LA Rams parade, where the photographer was taking a picture of them and ate shit, like fell off of
She broke her spinal cord.
she broke her
Or fractured her
spinal cord. So, but just in the video, it's like, I couldn't tell really how she fell or what she was standing on. Or
I think she just fell off the back, like the front of the stage. Like her back was too,
And she was scooting
and she was
back.
going back and just didn't know where she was and fell down, which is awful.
So
Awful.
it's worse than it, like, yeah, because
It's not just she busted it. I
Right.
mean, she like fractured her spinal cord or some shit like that.
Right.
Like it was serious.
yeah.
And he was having no part of it. Like he saw it and was like, "Oh shit!"
He
and then
literally-
immediately turned and was like, "And I'm out." And he got a ton of grief for that. And when you never know how you're going to react in a situation.
Yeah.
But he's chugging water. He's been on a bender probably for how
And
many?
he probably just knew, like, I can't handle.
Right. I'm not equipped to handle this right now.
Yeah.
And so he sent his wife over and she's like concerned and all that kind of stuff. And it was not a good look.
No.
Obviously. It was not a good look for Matt Stafford to like see this girl completely eat shit and then just like exit stage left.
Right.
But I don't know if you put it in the whole picture, if you put it in context, it's not like I said, it's not a good look but you can kind of understand, where he's coming from. Then that went totally viral.
It was really funny.
And it's not, you can't keep saying it's funny when she broke her back.
Not that part. His reaction was really
Right.
funny.
It was funny.
Not her.
Okay.
Like she just, I think anytime someone falls is funny. Even when I fall a lot. But I mean, I posted when I fell running because
Right.
I thought it was funny. But,
Right.
But yeah, I'm sad she got hurt, obviously.
Right.
But his reaction was
It was
really
hilarious.
funny. And the fact that it was like captured and then it took off. So
and
everybody
then
could see
they
it.
feel bad and they're like, we're going to cover her medical costs or all that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
everyone's like, okay, well, that was a nice thing to do. You looked kind of like a jackass, not taking care of her, rendering aid. And then it comes out like, give people a couple days. And then they go getting in on that the photographer's timeline and her
Kelly
tweets.
Smiley?
Yep. Apparently she had some hot race opinions. Like,
Some HROs.
some yeah. And so it's like, so first it's Matt Stafford getting canceled because
Right.
he looks like a dick. And
Right.
then
So
you've
everyone's
got-
trying to cancel him
Yeah,
when he's
and
at
then-
the top of his peak
Oh,
moment
yeah,
of his
dude
life.
just
of
won
his
a
career.
Super Bowl, and then this girl falls off the stage, and he looks like a jackass because he didn't help her. So, and then people go.
The mob's
The
like, where
mob
do I go
comes.
next?
Where do we go? Let's dig in on this Smiley girl and see what's happening. Apparently, she spouted off some racial terms that are not kind.
Okay.
And yeah, so then people are like, "Oh, who? Matt Stafford?" Like, and then also like Matt Stafford knew, like, "Oh,
Right.
yep, not helping her. She's a racist." Saw her tweets,
Jeez.
No, he didn't know.
Like, he'd already
whatever. But then
researched.
they come, and so it's just this vicious cycle
Yes.
of like,
Too much canceling.
who do we cancel now?
Like
Who do we cancel now? I mean, it's just.
who's
And it's
who's
who can we
perfect?
play?
Who's perfect enough to survive this
how,
world?
How can we play gotcha? Like
Yes.
gotcha. Who's going to say gotcha next?
It's-
Gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
and I don't know what people
Found that
get
tweet
out
from,
of that.
Because I don't. Yeah, they. I think
hard to
people.
understand.
It is, but people like seeing. I don't know. They like seeing
Like successful people fail,
Yeah,
or they
well,
like
no doubt.
they like almost being the cause of it.
I don't
like-
or like to let me show you this. And then two, if they bring something to light, is that going to go viral? It's all a very, very sick thing.
I know, and it's causing
It's disturbing.
it's disturbing, and it's causing.
And it's terrifying.
I know.
Like, you're like, fuck, what? I mean, am I going to, is somebody going to be like, string all my F bombs together and be like,
right.
who is this? Whatever.
Well, it's interesting juxtaposition with the way the media landscape is going, because people want real and people want these long form, like talking podcasts and things like that. But then they also are canceling more. So it's like,
Yeah.
I want to hear more from you. I want to hear more from the athletes, but I'm also going to attack every word that you say.
Right.
So like, it's a tough kind of place to be.
It's a really difficult balance, because you're like, if I want to put myself out there more, but the more you put yourself out there, the more you open yourself up to exposing something that maybe you don't want everyone to know, or it happens in a small snippet.
Yeah.
You know, where things can just get taken and pulled and clips get made and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's messed up though. Like it's a dangerous
It is
thing. And
It
it's I mean, and it's kind of scary, because you're like, you want to be able to express yourself, and you want to be able to, you know, but it's a,
yeah,
I mean, and I'm not saying
risky
express
business.
yourself like
Yes.
spewing racial slurs. That shit's not cool. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the more open you are, the more you talk, the more you're susceptible to saying something that someone's going to latch onto and then, you know, put out there for everyone to judge if they want to cancel you for it or not.
It was something that I had to learn how to deal with being at the ticket, because you just go in and you're honest and you're open, and then you're like, wait a second, everyone's like has an opinion about everything I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I toned it back, but I know it's a struggle, I think, for even a lot of the people there. It's like it leads to anxiety and everything else.
It's a lot
when there's all these people that can comment on every single thing that you say. So yeah, I don't know. I'm glad the photographer's okay and she's getting her medical bills covered.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Stafford's going to be okay.
He'll be fine. And I think that photographer might have deleted her social media account
really?
or something. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's usually the first step.
Anywho.
Just delete it.
Yeah,
Okay. Time now for TMG News Desk.
Yes.
Brought to you by MSU Flower Mound. Midwestern State University in Flower Mound, MSU, Texas, is here to help you complete that bachelor's degree you never finished, or maybe you're at a local community college and you're looking to transfer. Our programs are designed to help advance your career. The degree programs are offered completely online, which is great for the working mom or adult learner. Offer programs in nursing, respiratory care, I never can say this, radiologic sciences. It's like radiology stuff. Teacher education, human resources, and much more. Complete your degree in as little as 3 semesters up to 2 years. Although the courses are offered online, we do have a dedicated team and campus located in Flower Mound for all your in-person student services needs. And I say we and us and all that kind of stuff with Flower Mound, MSU Flower Mound. They are. And Randy is the sweetest thing. And we've missed MSU on the show because they want to, they want us to talk about them when things are starting to heat up there on the enrollment front.
Yes.
So
exactly.
now's the time.
Now's the time. I know a lot of people are thinking about changing things around in their life these days.
Education never hurt nobody,
Yep.
Julie. Education never hurt
MSU
nobody.
Texas Flower Mound is here to help.
Check them out.
Go check them out.
Okay, news desk today. A couple things to discuss. And the one I wanted to discuss, it goes back to the All-Star game. But did you see all this stuff about Adam Silver and the locker room access and stuff?
No.
So obviously, since COVID, the last couple of years, I don't think anyone in professional sports has had locker room or clubhouse access. I haven't had it in 2 seasons,
so weird.
which is insane. And so I guess, now that we're starting to kind of maybe move past this a little bit, the topic was brought up, and I'm not sure exactly what setting it was. I think it was a press conference, but about media access in the locker room. And Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, kept making references to, reporters watching guys get dressed. And he said it more than one time. They don't need to be in there watching these guys get dressed. And I think to those of us who have been in clubhouses or locker rooms, it's kind of insulting to say that that's what we're doing. I've been in a Major League Baseball clubhouse for 18 seasons now. I've never watched someone dress. No one's in there to watch anyone dress. And so I think it was, like I said, it was a little insulting. And then now you've got the whole debate of what are they doing in there? They really don't belong in there anyway. And now is the chance, I'm talking about the media, of course, and now is the chance to keep them out altogether because now the precedent has been set that we can do it with
them
COVID.
an opportunity.
Yes. And it really does. And listen, I'm not here to say I need to be in the clubhouse every day. I don't, I have my own thoughts on that, but I will tell you that the vast majority of the relationships that I have formed within the Rangers organization throughout baseball have come because of that 45 minutes that's spent in the clubhouse before a game. I have a completely different take on post game. Post game, I'm like, I don't want to be in there. I don't need to be in there, because that is when they're showering, they're coming out, and then you're standing around their locker because everybody wants to talk to usually the same dude. Like, if everybody really wants to talk to the same dude, let him shower and get dressed and then come to the press conference room. Right. Whatever. I don't care if I ever go in a clubhouse post game.
Post game was some of the more awkward,
it's so awkward,
and especially if they lose.
Everybody's around, and you've got to stick your microphone in, you got to get positioning, and then you're like trying to give them privacy. They're in a fucking towel. It's like, so then I always turn around and tell my photographer, let me know when they're done, so I don't. But it's so awkward. You got to literally a bubble of people. I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that aspect of it. But pregame, that's not even really that much of a thing. I mean, it's a brief period of time that those guys get to the clubhouse. I mean, I'm speaking from baseball experience. I've been in the Mavericks clubhouse. I mean, the Mavericks locker room as well, Stars and Cowboys. It's not like everybody, there is a lot of standing around. But it's also important. It's important, especially for me as a team reporter, if I'm going to, if I want our viewers to know what a guy is like off the field, I want to get to know him.
Right. And that makes it impossible if you cannot have
hard.
that time.
It's really, really hard.
I'm looking at a lot of the tweets that people said after Adam Silver made those comments. This one I think is right. He wrote, Neil Best from Sports Watch. Common misconception. It's not about locker rooms per se. It's about a room of some sort where interaction can occur that allows reporters to gather information of interest to fans and not just a sterile formal podium. Well, so maybe just figure something else out where it's not where they're changing.
Right. Well, and two, it's like, we're on these Zooms. Well, everyone has access. You can't, it's not like you can, if I've got a little nugget on, if I've got a nugget on Corey Seager that I want to ask him about that I don't think anybody else knows. I don't want to, there's still some,
if you ask it and he has a good answer, it becomes a big story.
Yeah, right. And so you don't have any propriety over the information that you're working hard to gather.
Right.
And so I don't know. I do understand the public's conception of like, oh, y'all are just hanging out there and in the clubhouse or in the locker room. And, I have a totally different view because of, the job that I've had for the last 20 plus years. And
it'd be interesting to ask athletes really how.
Well, I remember it's interesting you bring this up. Our friend Kyle Gibson.
Yeah.
So Kyle Gibson was the player rep for the Rangers when he was here. And I remember I would have conversations with my colleagues and about like, we're never getting back in the clubhouse. We're never, whatever, which, like you said, it's not that. It's just like you said, I need time with, you need time with them to when, and I have it some in the dugout during batting practice, but they're shuffling in and out and, going hitting in groups
part of their
and then shagging balls,
pregame
all
routine.
That. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, and I remember having that conversation, and Kyle is so kind and so smart, and I just was like, I just want to put this in your ear, like just so where people like me are coming from and all that kind of stuff. And he was super. He was like, I don't think. He said, at least in our clubhouse, I don't feel like anyone sees the media, not just you, but the media in general, as like this terrible nuisance. Right. It may be different in other markets, but he was like, that's not the way we view things here. So anyway, it is, and it would be interesting to talk to athletes. But here's the deal, though: you've got young players who have been in the league for 2 years now. They don't even know what it's like to have that, and so that's going to be they might be like, oh yeah,
all of a sudden,
what the hell's going on?
Yeah. But then you also see when it comes to the big press conferences, like that's pretty intimidating for a young athlete
for sure.
Like to go sit out there and have to have 30 people looking at you waiting for an answer. Like I've seen guys, they get nervous and you don't get nearly as good a stuff as if it's somebody talking to somebody that they feel they have a relationship with.
Yeah. So I get that. I get that. Like, probably maybe some changes need to be made. Like, as far as and that would be if someone came to me and said, "Okay, what would be your ideal situation?" And I would say, 30 to 45 minutes in the clubhouse pregame. And then, I mean, especially with a sport like baseball, like you're talking about, I mean, every day you're trying to come up with new stuff.
And there's a lot of time where they're
and
just
then I
hanging
would
around.
say post game, I have no desire to
go to the
in
press
there.
conference.
It's to go going in the clubhouse to a post game. I mean, going into a clubhouse after a game, everyone wants to talk to one, two, maybe on a stretch, three different guys.
Yeah.
So just shuttle those guys in and out.
Yeah.
And get it over with. Like that would be fantastic with me. Like that to me would be an ideal situation. I know everyone else has, their own opinion on what they think the ideal situation would be, but it just was kind of insulting, like I said.
Yeah, I think that's kind of rude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Watching people get dressed.
Come on.
It's like, and for the commissioner of a league to
Yeah.
say that when you know
Yeah.
how valuable it is to
But
have
it
that
does make me
coverage.
wonder because he's very, hip and in tune.
Yeah.
Are the players in his ear saying
Right.
this?
Maybe.
Maybe
So maybe that's how they feel. And
Yeah.
if they feel uncomfortable, then there's something to be said for that.
For sure.
What does Hattie want to do when she grows up?
I put this in the notes. So
We'll wrap up with a little bit of kid
wrap
talk.
up with kid talk. So yeah, we're driving the other day. They went to Graham to stay with my stepmom and my stepsister and brother-in-law, and they always have so much fun in Graham. Anyway, which shout out to my Graham family. But we're coming back, and I'm like, "What do y'all want to do for dinner?" I think somebody had practice. I'm like, "I want to go out to eat," and Hattie's like, "I want to go to Hooters." And I was like, "Why? We're not going to Hooters? Like, and you've never even been to Hooters?" I was like, "Well, what?" She was like, "I love wings," and I was like, "You're so full of
love
shit. You don't
Hattie.
even love wings. You don't even like eating meat off the bone. Like, what are you talking about?" And so she was like, "What if she goes, why don't you?" So this is what she does. She knows what she's doing.
Yes,
She
she's
knows.
smart.
She knows. And so she's like, why do you not want to go to Hooters, Mom? Like, because she knows.
Right.
She wants me to say it though.
Yeah.
And she's like, why? And I'm like, I just don't think it's really not appropriate for kids. Why? Why is it not appropriate for kids? I'm like, you little fucker. So I said, you know why? Because they wear shorts that go up their butt crack and they wear shirts where their hoots are falling out. Are you happy? She just dies laughing. Oh, she thinks it's hilarious.
She got you.
Because she got me. Because I
Yes.
lost my shit and I told her that they wear pants with the, she was like, well, what if I want to work at Hooters? I was like, we're not going to discuss that right now. This is not an option for you to work at Hooters
So
right
has she
now.
seen it? Like, how does she know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how she knows about Hooters. I don't know.
Is Hooters like going?
Well, there is
it big
a
on
Hooter-
TikTok?
No, I don't know. She's not on TikTok.
Right.
She's not. I mean, listen, who knows? But there is a Hooters not far from our house that we pass frequently.
Okay.
But someone had, I don't know. And I don't care if she knows.
Right.
Yeah, she needs to know. But the fact that she was like, what? And so I feel like as a parent, I'm a little concerned by this child of mine that she knows what she's doing. Like
She's
she
being
knows
manipulative.
She knows what the waitresses at Hooters dress like.
Yeah.
Which I have had friends that were Hooters waitresses and they have banging bodies, and I would probably wear that too if I look like that.
Yeah.
But she knows she wants to put me in an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
She wanted me to be the one that said shorts up the crack.
She
and
likes
the
seeing you twist.
Hooters.
Yes.
Yes. So how long is this going to last? And to what length is she going to take this?
I think you're just getting started, girl.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yep.
Like she's 8 and
Yep.
I am
8 is young.
in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
Oh.
Well, it's the difference in boy and girl parenting, right? Like the girl thing is, they're both challenging in their different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm learning about that too because we both had boy first.
Yeah.
And then girl. And so I remember like Ryder being so hard because he still is like always trying to negotiate and talk back. And then we had the hitting thing and all of that. But I'm learning. I have a quick little antidote.
Do tell. Antidote.
So this one, in a nutshell, I had to email the school, which I've never done, about like anything outside of like, hey, what day am I supposed to bring this to school or whatever. But she had told me that there was a boy in her class that was hitting her, kicking her,
Oh, no.
that was following her all around and bothering her, and that he would say things to her like she's not beautiful. My daughter, for reference, is 3.5.
Okay.
3.5. Like she's been talking for, a year and a half, 2 years. And and I'd heard about this little boy a little bit, so I was kind of nervous about the whole situation anyway. And then when she dumped all that on me on the way to school, I was like, okay, something's off here. I have to check in because if she's like, going through something where she's scared to go to school emotionally, whatever, I'm just going to check in. Anyway, long story short, the teachers were like, she usually tells us if something's happening. She hasn't said anything about this. And I said, okay, well, did XYZ happen? Because I knew it was something that the teacher would know if it happened or not. And she said no. And I thought, oh my God. I think my daughter's just like making this up, lying to me. So that day after school, I'm like, Anna, I talked to your teachers and they said that XYZ has not happened and that this boy did not go to the principal and blah, 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 blah. And she got this big smile on her face.
Oh, gosh.
And she said, just kidding.
Oh, she
made up that the boy told her she was not beautiful. She's 3. Yeah. And so it's become a big thing. And I sent out this like mass apology. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm kind of embarrassed. Like I had no reason to think she was lying. I think the boy said one time he didn't want to play with her.
Right.
So she made up.
Oh dear. She cray.
She cray. Get
ready.
Boy said he didn't want to play with her. So she's trying to sabotage him.
Saddle up. Here it comes. Okay. We've got to go.
Okay.
I've gotten like 10 texts from my husband that is like, you need to get on the road. The roads are bad.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
But he cares. Nope, nothing.
Okay, we'll be back with episode 103 next week. We have a guest next week, don't we?
Yeah.
Is it Conrad?
Yeah, I think it is.
Golf talk. More golf talk with Conrad Schindler.
Yes.
Right? I think. Yes.
Yeah.
If not.
Is that the 2nd of March?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for being with us.
Lots of golf stuff to talk about with him.
No, who knew we were so golf-centric?
We're very golfy.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us for episode 102. We'll see you next week. In the meantime, Mom Game
Mom Game out.
out.